I will remind you again, I will let you know that please turn on your camera to keep the sense of engaging and turn off your microphone as long as you are not saying something. But when you are trying to say something or deliver your idea, please turn on your microphone. Very happy to see you and looking forward to the next level of our insightful thing. Without further ado, I will call you upon our club president. Please give a big round of applause for DTM Miranda. Yeah, the screen is yours.
Good evening, friends and Toastmasters. Very happy to be part of this session today. And I'm actually the acting president. I'm not the president because the president will be speaking as a speaker very soon. So for those of you who are new or visiting Center Stage for the first time, Center Stage is part of the TNC or Trainers and Coaches Advanced Toastmasters Club. We set this session separately to give our members an opportunity to start speaking professionally. So this is like, could be a practice or could be showcasing their specialty or part of their trainings, subjects, topics that they're passionate about or they would like to share with all of you. So without further ado, I would like to call upon our Toastmaster of the meeting or the MC for Center Stage, Distinguished Toastmaster, Mei Ling Ong. Let's give her a big hand of applause.
Thank you, Miranda. Right. Good evening, everyone. And thank you, everyone, for coming and joining us in this session. As Miranda has explained, all of us are part of the Trainers and Coaches Advanced Toastmasters Club. And we are actually utilizing our skills learned from Toastmasters and applying it in our line of work. And also it is a platform for aspiring trainers and coaches to join us and learn as well. Now, this evening we have Ping, who will be delivering to us his Center Stage slot speech. Now, before that, Ping will also be evaluated by 3 evaluators who are experienced Toastmasters. And I would like to introduce the 3 evaluators for Ping this evening. We have evaluator number 1, Distinguished Toastmaster Miranda Rumi. Evaluator number 2 will be Ugeng Wijaya. And evaluator number 3 will be Megat Firdaus Putra. And our timekeeper for this evening will be Siu Chien Ong, Distinguished Toastmaster. Now, without further ado, let's move on to the next part. I'd like to introduce the speaker. Our speaker this evening is none other than our very own charter president, Ping Hendra. Now, Ping is an experienced coach and speaker, and he believes that one's ability to ask the right question correlates directly with the quality and direction of the conversation. So with his talk this evening, let me ask you a question, the power of asking the right questions. We will benefit from him on how we can engage further with people through asking the right questions. So right now, I present to you, ladies and gentlemen, Ping Hendra with his topic, Let Me Ask You a Question. Over to you, Ping.
Thank you so much, DTM Mei Lin. I want to ask all of you here a question. How many of you here has ever been to the doctor's office or seen a doctor? I'm sure most of you have your hands raised. So am I. I've been to a doctor. And have you ever noticed that the first thing that the doctor said to you upon you entering his or her office is, how can I help you? What's going on? And then you start to say your symptoms, your problems, and the doctor said, okay, how long have you had this? And then you start saying maybe 3 days ago, 4 days ago. Okay, which part of the body you felt discomfort? And then you start to explain about it a little bit more. And then the doctor said, okay, please lie down. And do you feel a pain here? Do you feel a pain here? Do you feel a pain here? And after that, the doctor will come to a conclusion that, okay, you might have this particular symptom, or you might have this particular sickness or disease, and this is the solution. A doctor is paid for asking questions and giving you suggestions on how to get better, get healthier. And I want you to think back again to most of the highest paid positions in the world. Most of them are good at asking questions. However, when we were in school back in the days, we are rewarded with the ability to answer questions. When the teacher say, hey, how many of you know about this, or the assignments that you have done, what is this? And you raise up your hand and you answer, teacher, me. And you answer the question and the teacher said, good job. And with that, the teacher remembers who you are and you get a kick of it. And because of that, you want to be recognized more. So you answer questions and you keep answering questions and you keep answering questions. And with that, you get recognized in school and you get rewarded for it. In the United States, it's called participation points. It's where you participate in answering the questions. However, as you go and progress into entrepreneurship or into career work, you get paid or you get rewarded more on the quality of questions that you were asked. If you're in sales, think about it. Let's say you're in sales or you are approached by a salesperson. I want you to recall again how many times you answer a question versus how many times you ask a question when you were the person that's being prospected by a salesperson. Are you the one asking the questions or are you the one answering the questions? Perhaps you wanted to buy something. Let's say you wanted to buy a cell phone. You went over to a shop and you said, hey, I'm looking for a particular device that can do this, 5 things. And what's the first thing that the shopkeeper asks? Probably be like, okay, what's the budget that you're looking for? And with that budget, the salesperson can immediately say, okay, with this budget, these are the options. With this budget, these are the options. You answer the budget that is lower than this, then these ones, I'm not gonna give you the recommendation. I will only give you the recommendation that is this or lower or a little bit slightly higher. And that is a good question statement. Why? Because the more questions you ask, the more, or let's say the higher the quality that you ask, you will get a massive response. The better response you get, the better questions that you ask, the better response you get. There are, I would say, 2 types of generalized, okay? 2 types of questions that you ask. One is a closed questions. A closed question is simply, how are you? Good or not good? Where have you been? I've been to the doctor's office or I've been to the mall. Simple, direct response or a yes or no. And there's another type of question, which is open-ended question. And open-ended questions usually starts with what? What is your opinion about this particular movie? Why do you think this movie is good? Or how is the best way to do this particular thing? Okay, and usually open-ended questions does, I would say, these 3 things. One is to get knowledge or information. Number 2 is to elicit feelings. How do you feel? Why this particular thing? What's your response towards that? And you get a little bit of feelings more on that. Or number 3 is for you to deliver or to get thoughts or opinions of other things. In the coaching world, we don't, sometimes I use a lot of what, why, and how. Oftentimes I also use, can you tell me more about this? Tell me more about this. Tell me more about the time where you felt depressed. Tell me more about the time where you felt angry. Or you ask, describe to me the time where you felt angry. Describe the time when you felt that you are going for it and you get things done. In the coaching world, the quality of a coach is not someone that gives you direction or tells you what to do. The most and the highest quality of coaches are the ones that ask great questions. The more questions that you ask, the more or the higher quality of answers you receive. Or not only for yourself, you can use this for the whole world, for your personal world or for your professional world. For personal world, for example, let's say you and your spouse had a little bit of a disagreement. What happened? Did you guys argue and each of you wanting to butt head and one of you gives up over, after 3, 4, 5 minutes? Or ask questions. Okay, what is wrong? Okay, can you tell me where I make mistakes? Okay, how can I improve so that in the future I don't make these mistakes anymore? How would that change your relationship? By you asking quality questions. The better questions that you ask, the better you get at the answers. I'm sure you have watched the movie Aladdin, where Aladdin rubs the magic lantern and the genie comes up and the genie said, ask and you shall receive. What is it that you're looking for? And if you are wise, you will really think through and you ask great quality wishes so that you can get great ones, great outcome. Otherwise, you will just get surface level. Let's say I want to be rich. Yeah, in terms of what? What if you know I want to be rich where I can this, so that I can this, and I want to avoid this. If you ask that question to the genie will be like, okay, it's more. The outcome that you get will be much better. And genie would say, ask and you shall receive, which is the same as ask. We need to ask high quality questions. A philosopher by the name of Voltaire said this: judge a man by his question rather than his answers. Judge a man by his questions rather than his answers. I really believe in this. I still remember when I first started coaching, and I'm so used to giving direction because I also came from an athletic background, similar to our fellow members, Manoj. I was also a athletic back in the days. Now I'm not so much anymore. Back in the days, yes, I played basketball high level and I participated in a lot of competitions. And in basketball, we're so used to giving directions. Hey, guard this. Hey, positions left. Hey, positions right. Or defense. You are so used at giving directions. And also I have a coach that are so used to giving direction as well. Hey, the defense will come on the left. You go make this person turn left because this person cannot dribble with the left hand. So make him go left and things like that. And I use that philosophy in my early coaching career where I give direction. Okay, I understand you come to me because you have problem with this. Okay, this is the things that we need to do. Bam, 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 go. I give the processes, the steps, and then let this person doing it immediately. And what happened? Either there's only two outcomes. Number one, either they get it done, or number two, they don't get it done and they end up hating me because I am so directive and I'm doing something that is not something that this person is looking for. After a while, I start to notice that, hey, I might not be as result-oriented as I thought. Maybe I need to change something within myself. I start to ask myself, okay, what did the other coaches do that makes them highly successful? And I started to ask myself again, okay, what are some of the methods that they use in order for them to deliver high-level, high-performance coaching skills? And number 3, what do I need to do to become just like them? The moment I asked these questions to myself, I started to notice things differently. I started to look at things differently. I started to, when I attended webinars, when I attended seminars or conferences, when I look at how the speakers deliver a presentation, I no longer look at the speaker's content, but I look at the speaker's way of delivery, the speaker's stories, the speaker's way of weaving stories to their main topics of discussion, and then move on to the next one, the transitions, all these things. When I look at it, I was like, wow, these are the things that I lack. And most high-level coaches will always ask questions first, rather than immediately go to a statement. And I also noticed that most people in sales, high-level salespeople, usually they go and ask questions. The questions that they ask will change the direction of the sales. When I was doing telemarketing, I still remember when I was in Shanghai, I was doing telemarketing a lot. And it's very hard to persuade someone over voice. And I have never met this person ever. How do you get someone from a complete stranger? People call it cold calling. How do you get someone from a cold call to a warm call to a hot call to say, yes, I'm in? I still remember my supervisor tell me this. Think, in order for you to do well, first of all, you must ask them questions. He said this, the mistakes that you did is you pick up the call and you said, hi, my name is Ping and I'm from this company and I'm looking to speak with you where I will talk to you about this. And what happens after that? I will say, sorry, I don't have time, click. Or no, not interested, click. Before I even end my sentences, someone already said, okay, I'm not interested, click, and hang up the phone. And he said this, ask questions first. Hi, how is it going? Are you convenient to speak right now? This person said no. Or if this person said, what is it regarding? You can say, okay, this is regarding this particular thing. I will need about 3 to 5 minutes of your time. Are you convenient right now? If not, I can call you back at your most convenient time. Where will that be? Ask that question, and this person will immediately opens up. Or this person either said, oh, I'm not interested, or this person said, okay, he's intrigued. Okay, yeah, this might be interesting. 3 to 5 minutes. Sure, I have 3 to 5 minutes of my time. Tell me more. And with that shift, just by asking that simple question, by that shift, immediately I get so many appointments and I closed so many projects just because of that shift, the tiny shift, by asking quality questions. And there's this question that most people always ask, but there is a psychology behind it. And this question is called a yes question. Remember to always ask questions that get a yes response. For example, hi, how are you today? I'm fine. Okay, great. How's your day? Oh, my day is doing great. Okay, that's cool. That's good. That is you already setting a tone that, okay, it's going to be a good day. It's a good conversation. Okay. Or you can just say like, okay, do you struggle with this? This person will say, no. Oh, you don't struggle with this. So everything is okay for you. Yeah, everything's okay. yes, you get a yes response. If you ask, do you struggle with this? If the person said, yes, I struggle with this. Oh, so you struggle with this. Okay, perfect. Tell me more. Why are you struggling with this particular issue? And this person will say everything. Oh, because of this, because of this, because of this. And with that, you get the root of the problem of that person. Very simply, just by you asking questions. Okay. And there's an author of the book called One Question, Life-Changing Answers from Today's Leading Voices. And this coach says, good questions inform. Great questions transform. Good questions inform. Great questions transform, by Ken Coleman. When I read that quote, I was so surprised that it's so true. Because when I'm doing sales, I still remember when I first started doing sales, I was so used to wanting to sell that people saw my desperations from miles away. Just by them picking up the phone and my fake enthusiasm, they immediately saw, oh, okay, I'm not interested, click, hang up the phone. But when I start to get more
Seems like Bing's having connection problem.
Bing?
We need to pause the time, probably.
when I get more interested in them, and when I get more interested in their life or the concerns that they have, or the question or the issues that they have, I immediately be able to connect with them more. And there's this principle called the Pareto principle. It's the 80-20 rule, where it's stated that 80% of your revenue or profit in the company generated from 20% of your customer, or 80% of your successes comes from 20% of your efforts. So you have so many things in your company, for example, you have, or your work, you have so many systems and processes, but only 20% of them are actually bringing in money. The other 80% is probably just things that are not revenue generating. Okay, in a conversation, it's also an 80-20 rule, where 20%, the most important ones, are usually questions, and the 80% are statements. And I learned this in the NLP world, which is incredible. And it says this: the person that directs a conversation is the one that asks the question. Because by you asking the question, you can direct a conversation left or right immediately. It's just that the questions that you ask, you have to probe deeper and deeper and deeper so that you can get to the root cause of the problem. You cannot just get a problem, just like the doctor example that I shared with you earlier. You can't just go to a doctor and say, oh, doctor, I got a headache. And then the doctor say, okay, eat this medicine and that's it. You can't do that. The doctors will usually ask, okay, what's the symptom about? What is going on? How long has it been? Or which pain? Is it the left, the right, or the center? The doctor asks very specific probing questions to go deeper and deeper to get the underlying issue, which is the same for you as well in your life, in your career, in your personal or professional life. The more questions that you ask, you will get better response. If you are looking for help, you want to ask a favor, you want to get a help, you want to do this big projects, but you don't know where to go, where to start. What did you do? You will ask. If you want to meet a person for the first time and you are interested in this person and you want to know more about this person, what do? You can't just by looking at this person and you know this person deep down. You can't. You have to ask. And the more questions you ask and the higher quality questions that you ask, you will get a higher quality response. And I want to close this with a quote. And in order for you to be successful, I'm going to give you the key to success. And the key to success is to keep educating yourself. The key to success is to keep educating yourself. In terms of the questions that you ask when you meet a person for the first time, think of it as an opportunity to learn or to discover about this person. And that is your chance to keep educating yourself so that you want to learn more about this person. And in order for you to be really, really, really good at educating yourself, you must ask quality questions. And ask is always seek knowledge. The questions that you ask will elicit the response that you get. So what is the answer that you are seeking? The answer that you are seeking is this answer. If this is the answer that you want or you are looking for, ask better questions. When you are stuck in life, when you are troubled, when you want to set a goal but you can't achieve that goal, ask yourself, why is this unachievable? What did I do wrong? How can I make it right? And last but not least, ask yourself, why is this not working for me? Is it because I am hardworking, or is it because I am not doing the right things? What are some of the things that I'm doing wrong? How can I make it right? And with that, questions that you ask yourself, you will get a clarity of answers that will help you get from where you are to where you want to be. I have prepared a series of questionnaires, of goal-setting questionnaires that will help you get from where you are to where you want to be. I will send these questionnaires to you after this meeting is over so that you can take a look at your goals and then look at the questions and then make the best answers, and that will change your goal and trajectory of your life for 2021 and beyond. And with that, thank you very much for listening and have a great Chinese New Year Eve for everyone celebrating. Thank you.
Thank you. Round of applause for Ping Hendra. Thank you so much for sharing with us your experience. And what I've learned from Ping's session is, firstly, sometimes I am unable to speak to someone. So now I remember, just ask them questions. And also don't forget to ask yourself questions when you're faced with trouble or problems, and perhaps you can just self-coach yourself out of your own mental block. Right. Now we move on to the next session, which will be the evaluation for Ping's talk. So our first evaluator will be distinguished Toastmaster Miranda Rumi. So over to you, Miranda.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the MC Maylene. I would like to start with the information from International Coach Federation. In International Coach Federation, there's a level, the highest level is called Master Coach, Master of Professional Coach, Master of Certified Coach, MCC. I heard for this level, to pass the exam, you can only ask questions. So there's no other comments or advice but questions. So that emphasizes how important question is and highly regarded. And Ping has successfully convinced us how important questions are. And he told many stories, many examples about the importance of asking questions rather than telling. And he tells us in very many situations, in many conditions, how important the questions are, and from a lot of personal experience. I really enjoyed the many stories and the many examples, Ping, and I think we're all convinced how important questions are. There are some growth opportunities here. For me personally, I am I need to see things much more structurally. And when I'm listening to Ping's speech, I was wondering, okay, what is the lesson from each topic or from each example? And I felt like I was just going from one question, example after example after example, and and it makes me a little bit nervous because this is just the way I'm the type of I guess learner that I am, and I needed like something to hang on to. And for Ping, if I may suggest for people who are possibly like me, it's if you can structure your speech a little bit better, maybe in less categories or less points, and then give some examples for each point. So for example, I can suggest to you, let's say you take three parts, three sessions of the three sections of that speech. For example, the benefits of asking questions versus telling. Then you give an example and start with saying the benefits of asking questions so that the audience, as an audience, I'm prepared to listen to that and getting the lesson from that. And then the second, you probably could say the type of questions that are more effective or most effective in, let's say, in opening people up or in getting them to give you information or to build trust, something like that. And then maybe you could also add wrong questions to ask. So with three focus like that, then I can kind of like follow it a lot easier for my case. And then as a suggestion also, you speak, you mentioned at the very end that you have questions to take where you are from where you are to where you want to be. I found myself really wanting to hear actually what was that. You know, I think if you actually include that in the speech or make it part of the speech, it makes the speech much more engaging. So those are my suggestions to you. The high points, the shining points are the that you have a lot of experience, a lot of collections of stories and examples that undoubtedly would convince us to use questions more than telling. And then the suggestion is to structure it more so that it's easier to follow and to digest as we go along. And I'm looking forward to your next talk about the answer and questions. And so back to you, Maylene.
You're still muted, Meili.
Thank you, Miranda. And now I invite our second evaluator, and that will be Ugeng Wijaya. Over to you, Ugeng.
Okay, thank you, Tom. So, Toastmaster Pink. So, what I like about your speech, the first thing, your decision to choose this topic is absolutely brilliant. Ask questions, because most of our members here is a coaches, trainers, teachers, and we really like about this topic. So the decision to take this topic is really brilliant. So we'll get a connection with the audience. So it means you really know who is your audience. And the second one is about your structure. Your opening, you ask question and sample how ask questions is really help people in any professions like doctors, teachers, and even sales. And also in the body, your key messages is really clearly delivered to the audience. And at the closing, you give some quotes, yeah. So this is really good as well. Another thing that makes you great is your gestures. Even though you deliver online on a camera, but you can use your gesture effectively. Not only your hand, but also your expressions, your face. You absolutely really great to use your gestures in front of the camera. However, even though your speech is good, but there is still room of improvement from good to great. First, your speech mostly quite theoretical. If I am the audience, imagine if this is your professional training and we are the participants. So we are questioning how to start. I think it's better if you add some more practices as a call to action. Let's say, okay, as an exercise you can do at your home, create some question, some deck and card. So before you start a coaching, you have some list of questions. This is more practical. It's not just hearing the theoretical. And second one is about the online training, online webinar. Imagine this is the online webinar, your professional training. First, your camera position. Your camera, it should be horizontal with your eyes. So if your camera in the bottom, it's you show like dominance to your audience. Yeah. And the second one about technical issues. It's not our under control, but we still have a control if we give disclaimer before you start speaking. For example, okay, disclaimer, because this is online training, so there is some technical issue that not in our control. I think that's from my feedback and evaluations. Back you to Tom.
Thank you again for your evaluation. Now we move on to our third evaluator, Megat Firdaus Putra. Over to you, Megat.
Thank you, Maylin. The beautiful minds of philosophers such as Socrates and, as you said, Voltaire, have convinced everyone that asking questions are viable to society. And you, Mr. Ping, has convinced, especially me, on the absolute importance of asking the right questions. I'm going to start off with what I believe is truly magnificent in your speech. First and foremost, you delivered a beautiful motivational speech packed with experiences from your own of your own stories, a few facts, and a few key points that you've learned along the way. For instances, 80-20, which to me that was something I've never learned before this. So I really enjoyed that bit of a take on that. And I like how when you start off with the speech, you ask the audience about how they felt or if they've ever experienced going to the doctors, right? And then you ended that speech with the same thing, which is asking with the doctor as well. So it was a very nice end to your speech. Like it really closed in the hatchet, which I really personally enjoyed. And in the conclusion, I did enjoy when you kept on emphasizing on asking the right question, asking this, asking that. It really seeped this ideology into our conscious mind, which I think was beautiful. It really did the job for me. Now, if I may, how to improve your speech to the very, very next level, if I may, is, of course, as I've mentioned from our previous evaluator, on regards to technical issues, if I may, I believe it will be much more efficient or effective if you had your camera, instead of a portrait mode, into a landscape mode. I feel that would be more engaging because the black bars, I feel on left and right of your screen, feels like you're entrapped. So if you put yourself in a landscape position, it really broadens people, and it actually welcomes people to anything that you have to say. And one more thing is that whenever you discuss in a story, perhaps, and if it comes to a moment of revelation, a moment of conclusion, of happiness, it's advisable for you to end it with a smile. Because the moment it comes with a revelation, you smile and people are like, oh, okay, so now he understands something. That means I should understand it as well. And it automatically makes people to smile with you in the process. And in regards to structure, I think it will be much more efficient or effective for you to go with a basis of discussing a particular issue first, and then come with a solution, and then finally your own experience. All in all, I really enjoyed this really well-rounded motivational speech, and surely for me, it motivated me to ask the right questions. Thank you so much, and that's going to be it from me. Back to you, Maylin.
Thank you, Magat, and thank you to all three evaluators for your very valuable evaluation and tips and pointers of where Ping got right and where Ping could have improved his speech to go to the next level. And all of us as the audience also learn from all your evaluations as well. So right now, we will open the floor up, Ping, to take a 5 to 10 minutes session for Q&A. So Zoom Master, if you would spotlight. Ping. Okay. Is there anyone who has any questions? Well, okay. Then I have a question actually. Ping, what's the most, let me just get this started. So what is the most crucial question you've ever asked yourself in your life?
The most crucial questions I've ever asked in my life is, what do I want to be? One. Number two, why I'm doing this? Why am I doing this? And number three, why I have to do this? So by answering those three questions, I was at a crossroad where when that happened, I started to ask that questions for myself. And also, because at the end of the day, in my opinion, when you want to do something that matters, there has to be a very, very strong reason why. Why you asking that question, or by you asking really deep down the motivating questions, why, you are able to get to the deep root reason of why you want to do this particular reason. If you don't do that, you will be like, for example, let's say setting goals. The reason why most people do not achieve their goals that they set for themselves is just that, just like people out there teach, set SMART goals: specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time bound. But there is no deep reason why. So is this goal exciting for you? Is this goal make you energized? Does this goal make you want to wake up early and do it? Or it's just like a goal you set, just kind of like a New Year's resolution? So by you asking that deep personal questions, you are able to get the answer that you seek. Yes.
Thank you. I thought you were going to say the question is, will you marry me? All right.
Gotcha.
Right. Okay. Next question from the floor.
I think Megat raised his hand earlier.
Okay. Megat.
Yep, give me a second. I'm having some sort of my football problem real quick. Hold on. Okay, never mind. Yes, so Ping, from your own experience, when do you know that it is the right question?
That's a good question. So when will I know it's a good question? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's right.
Okay. So when I get the answer, I never thought about that. That's a good question. Or, yeah, nobody asked me that before. That is a good question. The moment you can ask a question that can get that kind of response, that is a great, great, great question. Just like earlier, the table topics master asked whether coaching and training is the same as teaching. And I was like, I never thought about that. And that is a good question. That, in my opinion, that is the real definition of a good question. And usually that kind of question will make the people who are answering the question will think a little bit, and then they will say what is deep down their level, the statement that they want to give out in their thought. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Okay. We still have time for.
Can I add
Yes.
one more to that? I think the important question that needs to be said right now is, does that answer your question?
Yes, does that answer your question?
Yes, absolutely. It does answer my question. Thank you very much for that.
All right. So we can still take 1 to
One-
2 more questions.
One
Okay.
question.
Okay, one question. Right. Just
Yeah.
speak up, please.
Okay, that's from me, Pink. Yeah, Pink. What's the
Andre.
simplest? Yeah, thank you, Elaine. I would like to ask you, Pink. What's the simplest question that you ever asked, but you could learn a lot from asking that simplest question?
Tell me more. That's the question that I always ask. Tell me more. Or why is that? And you will get a lot of answer and a lot of deep pressing issues that they have. For example, let's say this, they are saying, oh, you know what? I feel so frustrated about today. And then you say, oh, okay, tell me more. Or you can just say, why is that? And this person will rant like, oh my God, my boss is this. Oh my God, my spouse is that. You will get that just by you asking those 2 things. Tell me more. And why is that? Does that answer your question?
Awesome, Pink. I just never thought that, yeah, an exclamation can be a question, but I'm glad I asked you that question. Thank you for telling me more.
Thank you, Andre.
Okay, thank you, Andre. Right, one last question.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Yes, I. One of the question that you mentioned, it is an open-ended question. One of the purpose is to elicit feeling. Sometimes when we are as an Eastern people, it may not be as polite to provoke emotion of somebody. Where can we find that fine line not to cross that border and still get a good answer out of that question?
Can you give me maybe an example on a particular situation, and maybe I can give you a question to ask?
Let's say, are you happy with your financial situation? Are you happy with the money that you earn? That kind of thing.
See, when you say, are you happy with the financial situation, you will get a yes or no. No, yes, because it's, are you happy?
Mm-hmm,
What
mm-hmm.
You can ask, how is your career like?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can ask maybe as simple as, what is your financial outlook like this year?
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
then this person can either be open about it or they are not. If they are not open about it, then you know, okay, it's not something to go for. However, if they are open about it, oh, the situation is not great. Oh, it's not great. Tell me more.
Mm-hmm.
Or why is that? And then
Mm-hmm.
this person will say, oh, it's because of, I don't know, maybe career, or because of the current pandemic, there is the pay cut, and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it really depends on how open the person is about the question.
Yes, and how you as a person, what is your intention behind asking the questions? A lot of times when people ask the questions, the intention is just to probe or just to get what they call it, a response that, oh, not good. Okay, I have this product that can help you. People can sense that. Or you
Got it.
just ask a question just because you care. there is there is also a way to say, to ask that question is just by you concerned about it. Think about it. For example, in sales, especially, you are concerned with the connection with this person, or you're concerned with the commissions you're going to make. Only those distinctions can change everything for you in terms of asking quality questions and getting the feedback or the response that you receive.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Christian.
Thank you.
All right. So thank you everyone for asking your questions. And I believe that will be the end of the question and answer session. And right now I will hand the session over to Ode for our photo session, after which I invite Miranda to close this segment of Center Stage. Now over to you, Ode. Everyone, please turn on your video, camera. Yeah. Ode, are you there? Okay.
Forgot to unmute, sorry.
Okay.
Everybody turn on your camera, show your charming pose. Okay. 1, 2, here we go. Okay. Again. We are having another one. Wait just for a while. I have to save it first. Wait. It takes time, just for a while. Another picture. 1, 2, click. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Ode.
Yes, thank you, Ade. Well, everyone who has come today, I mean, you take your special time to be here. I hope you enjoyed. And if you enjoyed the session, please say, like give one for number 1 on the chat. And then I would like to invite you for our next Center Stage session, which is going to be 2 weeks from now. And the speaker would be none other than yours truly.
Miranda.
Yes, it would be me because it would be my turn. I'm member number 3 in this case. And I just had a quick thought. If anybody has a topic that they would like to ask, or that they would like to discuss, I'm a coach, so I talk about listening, I talk about communication, about emotional healing. If anybody has any suggestion, please throw it in the chat, and I will look and see which one I would like to do, and I will make my speech on that topic. So just write something or question. And if not, you can always contact me. All right. So I didn't, yeah. Okay. Thank you, Shu Chen. So any other, emotional feeling. Okay. Yeah, just type emotional healing in pandemic. Ooh, all right. And a lot of emotional healing would be lovely to hear. All right. Emotional healing. Okay, I will explore that topic a little bit deeper, and how to coach your boss. That was a good one. I need to copy this, and then so we can consider that. Yeah, so with that, I would like to end this meeting. Thank you, Ping, for taking the time and doing the preparation for this speech, and for everyone who's been very enthusiastic, patient, and really engaged. I'm really happy to see how this goes. And if you want to hear it again, it's streamed. I don't know, maybe I think Andre can send the YouTube stream to the registered people who come and attend. Yeah.
Yes, sure.
And with that, I would bid you goodbye until next time, in 2 weeks' time. Bye-bye.